Estée, this is Baby Name Monday. I've had a couple of weeks break, it's been gorgeous, but I'm back with a brilliant name list. If you love names or you're having a baby, do hit subscribe because this is the home of all things name inspiration and trends. I love reporting on the trends, and this limitless luxe trend is set to be humongous this year and next year. You can already see it kind of seeping into homes, how to make your home look expensive, how to make sure that every single nook and cranny, even your utility room, has a sense of glamour and luxury, and the kind of gold trend from the tailoring that we're seeing in fashion at the moment, more everyday tailored looks, and even glamping, going on our holidays and having that sort of sense of luxury. So this name trend was really popular a while ago and it's coming back. So you remember names like Chelsea, Paris, Portia, for our girls. The names are kind of have to have kind of a reason why they sound quite glamorous and luxury, but I have really dodged the trashy ones. I hope. These are really, really timeless but underused. So I will share with you of them, boys and girls. Actually obsessed with the boy names on this list. So for girls, I love the name Pandora. So Pandora, there were only 21 girls called it last year, and it does have that sense of being a little bit unique and special but higher class. So Pandora was from Greek mythology. She has a bit of a bad story, I would say. When she opened Pandora's box, she released evil into the world, but we don't hold that against the name Eve, which is really popular all over the place. And Pandora just is a gorgeous name. What I loved about it is using the nickname Pia, which is one of my favourite names, and I thought they would sound really beautiful together. Pia being a virtue name, meaning to be pious. Modern virtue names are so popular, they're very classy. Pia is just very understated, sleek, elegant to me. There is a sort of luxury, higher class trend towards masculine names as feminine, and that's a really popular trend at the moment as well. And the name I love within that is Raphaella. So you'll probably know girls who are like Harry and Freddie, and I think Raphaella is such a gorgeous name with the nickname Raffy. It's very made in Chelsea. Raphaella means all healed, which I think is really gorgeous as well. You just see a really expensive, glamorous girl named Raphaella. If that is your sort of style, it might really fit your kind of glam. I love boy names for girls. I love Jasper, I've heard Ezra being used for girls. Raphaella is super wearable. There were only 11 girls named Raphaella last year as well. Next up is a kind of quirky nickname as first name, which we know is quite luxury, quite high class. What about the name Whimsy? So it is very like Binky, you know, made in Chelsea, Whimsy. I really love it. Kind of is whimsical, but the longer form of it is a gorgeous name, Winsome. I'm really into this name at the moment because there's a character in the book that I just read. Winsome, to be winsome is to be very light-hearted, very jovial, and I just think that Winsome with the nickname Whimsy is so perfect for this kind of luxury list. How about the name Delavigne? It's such a cool name, isn't it? It's the surname of Cara and Poppy Delavigne, which might be where you've heard it, but it can be used as a first name, and it means dweller in the vineyard, which to me takes me to like Tuscany or France rather than like the wine aisle at Tesco, where I'm more likely to be found, let's be honest. But I love the name Delavigne. I think it sounds so gorgeous. I like that it's because Daphne is so vintage, and I think Delavigne has Daphne vibes because you could use the nickname Delphi, which is really into at the moment, which is a Greek name, actually means womb, so it's very maternal as a sort of nickname. But Delphi with a longer name of Delavigne, because it's got the GNE ending, that sort of French, that sort of Margot of it, it's just a really fashionable, gorgeous luxury name for any little girl. The next name I have is totally unranked, it's not used at all, and it's the name Sheridan. So Sheridan has a real class to it to me, a real sense of the luxury. I kind of loved the fact that it could also have Cher as the nickname, and I'm thinking of Cher from Clueless, who sort of started the revival of this trend so much. Didn't that all come back into fashion, all everything she wore? That sort of idea of us all having this limitless luxe and having walk-in wardrobes, having our clothes organised like she did. It's kind of very accessible, but Sheridan just sounds really, really classy. She could be Cher as the nickname, which means beloved. valid. So like Cherie, so she could also be Cherie as a nickname, which I really, really loved. Or even Eddie, which again, going back to Raphaella, it's quite a luxury thing to do. Sheridan actually means the searcher, and I love that meaning so much. It's very sort of you know, curious, open up to the world. The searcher is somebody who's looking for things all the time and is open to travel and stuff like that. So I feel like Sheridan has a real class to it, a real sense of this luxury vibe that we're after. We're so long, but with the gorgeous nicknames, that's what I'm into. Remember when Alexa was super classy, and it's really gone out because of Amazon, kind of ruined Alexa for us, or Arabella, there were those things, but a name that's an alternative to those two is Araminta. It's such a cool name. I actually knew a little Araminta, nickname Minty. So luxury, so upper class. Araminta, nickname Minty, isn't it? I just think it is so cool and super wearable with those other two names. It's definitely a second look name. It might be a bit polarizing. I wonder if you love it or hate it. Araminta means prayer and protection. I love those two meanings together. It feels very spiritual. Just a super trendy left field choice. Phaedra, super trendy again. The spelling of it makes it quite hard, so it's a bit like a Phoebe but Phaedra, but I feel like that has a luxury to it because you're using a PH instead of an F. So luxe. But yeah, Phaedra is just a really gorgeous name. It has got Porsche vibes, I guess. I just really love it. It really sticks out to me because it's got a sort of edginess to it. The D sounds I'm really drawn to for this high luxury trend. The unusual spellings I'm really into. I think this name is really lovely. She was the sister of Ariadne, which is a name that's kind of coming back, but Phaedra hasn't yet. So you'll be having a really rare, unusual name as well, one that's a bit fashion forward. And it means bright, which is beautiful. My last one for girls is the name Estée. So I know that in YouTube captions, often when I say SJ, it comes up as Estée, and I was like, oh my god, I love that name. So should have used that instead of SJ. But I really love it with the, you can do a little accent on it as well. It means star. And again, it's like showing you that elevation from Esther, or one of those sort of more normal vintage names. And as soon as you go Estée, it's got a lot of luxury, a lot of glam to it. And I think it's such a wearable name. We all know the brand name, of course. It does have a bit of brand name. I was trying to avoid them, but I just am in love with this name, and I think it works so beautiful for a limitless luxe trend. Okay, I love the boy names. The first one I have is the name Aalto. It's a Finnish name. I just think it is so luxury. It is such posh boy vibes, Aalto. The double A makes it super luxury for this, you know, luxury. I need two A's. I'm so fash. I just think it's really, really, really trendy, but it's not unusual. You know, we have Aaron. Lots of Aarons out there. If you're honouring an Aaron, you might want to do an Aalto. Obviously, it's a musical note as well, but it means wave in Finnish. I just think it's such a cool one. For a longer one, how about the name Balthazar? I'm really into the name Balthazar. I can really get on board with it. He was one of the three wise men, so it's kind of got that exoticness to it, the name Balthazar, but we do know it's being used as Balthazar Getty, and I think when you're looking for a longer name, you have names like Sebastian, Nathaniel, but a Balthazar's got a little bit more luxe, a little bit more sort of swagger to it, doesn't it, with the Z. Couldn't not have the name Loxley in my luxury name list. It literally screams luxury. It's got the same letters and everything, Loxley. I love this name so much. It's got very much like Willoughby, romantic, rugged vibes to me, Loxley. I think it works so beautifully. There were 18 boys named Loxley last year, and it means lynx glade, so the animal, the lynx, so it's got a really, really cool meaning as well. Loxley is also linked to Robin Hood, well, I said Robin Wood, Robin Hood. So it's got that sort of adventurous spirit to it as well, Loxley. Just such a trendy name. The next name is the name is Saachi. So this is a Sanskrit or Hindu name traditionally given to girls, so it's gender neutral really, but I really love it. I'm really into it at the moment. It's not like Saachi the gallery, even though it does have those kind of vibes to it. And again, it's a double A. I must be into that. My height of luxury is 2 letters the same. Really into Wordle. Saachi, but I just love it, and it means being loved for telling the truth. Such a cool meaning as well, Saachi. I just think it's very glam, very luxury, very of this era for this sort of very trendy, modern take on what used to be kind of these word or brand names for a while ago. Casimir is a name I'm really crushing on at the moment. If you follow the podcast, Baby Named Envy, which is like a real dilemma podcast. We do real dilemmas. I mentioned Casimir, I don't know which episode on. It means destroyer of peace. So it's quite, I think that's very accurate. If you've got boys, I've got boys and girls, and I know the boys are mainly my destroyers of peace, but I think it's such a gorgeous name. Obviously it sounds a little bit like cashmere, so it's got that sort of luxury side to it, Casimir. Cass as a nickname is super cool, very, very trendy, very upper class, Upper East Side Manhattan, is that where it's trendy? I don't know. But it was West Swindon for me. But yeah, it's a really cool name, Casimir. I really love it. I would definitely have that on my own personal baby name list if I was having a baby right now. And the next one, Ludo. I've been a mad fan of the name Ludo since I went to ukulele class with my 2-year-old. What was I thinking? He was learning the ukulele with a little boy named Ludo. And I just thought how cool the name Ludo was, short for Ludwig, which I'm not mad on Ludwig as much. I do know a guy called Ludo in Sweden. It's just such a cool name. There were only 12 boys named Ludo last year. I really liked the name Hugo when we were having a baby, and I was a bit worried it was kind of a little bit popular. It's obviously a very sort of luxury upper class name, but Ludo just feels much more modern, much more edgy, kind of modern take on this luxury vibe rather than old fashioned. So that's why I absolutely love it. Would you list it, please? Somebody have a baby called Ludo? This name, I've heard it somewhere recently, so let me know where I've heard it if you've also heard it as well. But I love the name Bacchus. Spelt like this, it's the double C for me, Bacchus, but it's the way that it's kind of unusual to say. Bacchus actually has got 2 different meanings. So it meant a bake house, so where bakers would bake and the community would come together to get bread, which I really, really liked because it's kind of like a giving community vibe to it. But it also, Bacchus was the ancient Roman god of wine, back down the Tesco aisle. Bacchus, so maybe that's why I've read it. So for some reason I think those ancient Roman names are really trendy at the moment, even the name Roman, and so I think that Bacchus kind of really, really works. Really trendy name. What do you reckon of it? It's quite unusual, it's totally unranked. I think I've made it up a little bit, but I really am into it. Where have I heard it? And my last one is the name Tahvo. Spelled like this, love it. Don't have to get confused by the H in the middle because you know I'm Sarah Jane. It's just how that's spelled, Tahvo. So cool. It's a bit like a Tarquin from the old luxury days, but Tahvo's so luxe. So gorgeous as well and trendy. I love the O at the end. It's very, again, Hugo vibes, Oliver vibes with a V in the O. So it means crown or garland as well. So it's got that real luxury edge to it. Really unique but easy to say and pronounce and an interesting double take name. What do you reckon of those Limitless Luxe names? I enjoyed it so much. Basically names that sound a little bit expensive, sound a little bit posh, but are super wearable. We need to continue this trend in the comment section below. Let me know any you would add to it so we can be the best resource online for mums who are naming a baby, and dads of course. If you want more baby name inspo, do hit subscribe because I'm here most Mondays. I just had a little holiday with baby name lists, but you can also find me on Pinterest. You can also find me on Instagram at baby name envy and the podcast. If you are having a baby and you're in the market for some changing mats, I have a range with 8th Bay where I designed 3 with them. They're all inspired by themes and names that you love. So we have Forest Fable, we have Shiloh Skies, and we have Lagom, which is the 70s vibe. Lagom meaning perfect simple in Swedish, and I'd love you to go and check that out and treat yourself. There's little travel ones as well, there's baskets, it's a beautiful range. You can go and check that out as well. And I will see you in my next video. Keep being luxurious, people. Bye bye.